Hey everyone, welcome back to skypeformeadmin.com. Just a quick one today. I'm just uploading a little session we ran internally. This is one of our internal lager and learns, as we call them, which gives everybody an internal look at what's updated in the UC space over the last month or so. So if you're interested in what's happened in the Microsoft Teams or Skype for Business world, check out this slide deck. I do apologise in advance about the audio quality. First time running one of these sorts of formats, and I don't have my workflow quite down. I unfortunately had the wrong quality setting set on the recorder, so have a look, tell me what you think below. Thanks.
Okay, so welcome back to Lager and Learn. We've just got a couple of updates on what's going on with Teams and Skype for Business over the last month or so. A lot of things have changed, a lot of things are happening, especially with Inspire around the corner. A lot of stuff is getting announced. So this is just my normal slide deck. As you can see, I pour beer on expensive Skype devices. Quick updates from the tech field. As you probably noticed, Telstra has announced that they've finally released Telstra PSTN calling. So it's now generally available for anyone. Any business can go and order it, providing they fit the normal requirements. But they'd come through a partner like us to get set up, but it is generally available. Your customers can go order it now. Plantronics and Polycom have announced that they've finished their acquisition process. So that means they're now the same company. So Polycom is now well and truly officially owned by Plantronics. And the 10-inch Surface Go has just been announced. If anyone's interested in that, it's a new device from Microsoft. It's designed to get into that 10-inch iPad Pro segment. I mean, not iPad Pro, but into that much cheaper segment. You'll be looking around $1,000 to get fully kitted out with a keyboard, pen, all that sort of stuff. One of the things I will point out, it's got USB-C on it, no USB-A ports. So you've got to buy a dongle if you want to plug a USB key in. Despite the name of Surface Go, it doesn't play Pokemon Go. Alright, so another thing that got announced today is Microsoft Teams is now free. So you don't need an Office 365 subscription, you don't need to have an existing tenant. This is obviously to compete with certain other chat solutions that have recently come out, or have been out for a while. So announced today, you get unlimited chat, video, meetings, and internal voice and video calling. You'll also get 10 terabytes of Team storage. So you get gigabytes, did I say terabytes? Gigabytes, there you go. 10 gigabytes of internal storage for your team. Okay, and this is per team. You get one team for the free edition. 2 gig per user. So when you upload files to your chats, that goes to your personal stuff. When you upload it to a team, it goes to the 10 gig account. You cap out at 300 users. Anything more than that, you've got to move up to a paid plan. One of the things that they will get you on, there's no way to add PSTN calling to the free edition. You can't schedule meetings. You have to meet now. And you can't record meetings. So there's no recording, no e-discovery, nothing like that. Alex? So anyone can sign, I'll rephrase the question. You're asking about can people sign up for Teams?
Yeah, like personal.
Yeah,
personal.
yeah. So you could go and sign up for Teams today.
Does that mean your OneDrive is 10 gig? Or like 2 gig?
So if you were to create a new free edition of Microsoft Teams, it effectively creates an Office 365 tenant. So let's say we've got Alex Yang's awesome, cool team, and you go and spin up this organisation of that, it creates a new 365 tenant with a SharePoint storage, which is your 10 gig, and then each individual user for that tenant gets 2 gig of storage in their OneDrive.
So it's
Dan.
one team with as many channels as you can.
There's no restriction on how many channels you can have that I've seen, but
One team.
yeah, one team. It basically creates a work account for you. So when you sign up with a personal account, it will create a new fake work account for you saying, this is your Office 365 tenant. It's the cherry to get you into the Office 365. The idea being you can step up from this to real O365. So one of the things it obviously does is you won't be able to schedule meetings because there's no Exchange. So one of the things they don't give you with this is Exchange functionality. So anything that uses Exchange, recording, stream, scheduling isn't going to work. And it's very simple. You just send someone to office.com/Teams free and they can sign up.
Is that free forever or is that 1 year after
free forever at this present time until Microsoft changes their mind. But there's no trial period, there's no commitment, there's none of that sort of stuff.
So if you want to get the Exchange integration, do you have to then that becomes null and void?
You would move it up to a paid version of Teams or a paid version of Office 365 that includes Teams. So you'd move to like an E3, for example. So same as all the other freemium apps like Skype, like Slack, like all that sort of stuff. You get a subset of features, and if you want more, then you buy the commercial version. And that's what Microsoft's trying here, is they're getting people and small organizations interested in Teams by offering a free version, and then that they can experience everything that Teams has to offer by going into buying the full lot. Another thing that was announced today is live events for Teams. This is very similar to Skype for B broadcast meetings. So the idea being that these will be meetings that you host in Teams, so you can have multiple people from Teams broadcasting content. You'll have a producer who selects what content can be displayed, and everybody views that content through Azure Media Services or Microsoft Stream. You can have attendees joined via Teams. You also have the ability to pump it out to third-party CDN networks and have them stream it to people for you if you really get excited. There is also a feature coming that you'll have integration into third-party encoding systems. If you don't want to use Teams, you can literally just pump it out of whatever your existing production gear is, as long as it speaks a certain protocol, which is RTMP. That's coming shortly. Okay. You probably all know, but just in case you don't, the Teams app is now available for Surface Hub in a preview. So that's been available for a little while. Your Surface Hub must be enrolled in the Insider program. One of the things about the Insider program is there's no rollback. If you join the Insider program, you're stuck on it. The only way to go back is to format or factory reset the device. Yeah, so it's not really production ready yet. We've got it running in our environment. It works. There's just a couple of little things that I wouldn't show it to users just yet. Can run side by side or replace Skype. There's some settings that you can push into the Teams via some configuration, into the hub via some configuration files, and that will configure Teams accordingly. But one of the things, the Teams app doesn't appear on the Surface Hub. So if you go to the Surface Hub and start looking for it, you won't see it. It only comes up when a Teams call comes in or a Teams meeting is booked. So if you change it to use Teams via the config file, the Skype button changes to a button that says call. That's it. Teams for Windows 10S. So for those of you that don't know, Windows 10S is a cut down version of Windows. It's like a fully featured version of Windows, but it just lets you run stuff from the Microsoft Store. It's cheaper. Teams is now available for that, so it's a version of the modern app. You can, sorry? No, not like Vista. Not like Vista at all. Windows 10S works.
No, I don't think this will work for me.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Windows 10S works.
Oh, Windows 10.
Yeah. So you can install this now. You can download it from the store, but it seems Microsoft has to change something in the back end to let us log into it. But it is available now, and if you put your machine into Windows 10S mode, which I wouldn't recommend doing just yet, you can sign in. It's got some nice things, like it detects if you're running another version of Teams and goes, hey, you're going to get extra notifications and stuff. Okay, Microsoft Whiteboard is now generally available as well, so you can go install this on any machine running Windows 10. It was in the preview program till last week. So this is the same whiteboard app that's on the Surface Hub with the multicolour rainbow pen. It's now on Windows 10. Go grab it from the store. It's free to use. Sign in, share with all your friends, collaborate from there. It will also be coming to Teams. There is a version for iOS, which you can see on the far side down there, that's coming soon, which will mean you'll be able to get your friends who've got your nice expensive iPads with their wanky pens. They're wanky expensive pens and try and catch up with the Surface Go. Anyway, Teams Direct Routing. So for those that don't know, Direct Route was a function to allow you to bring your existing telephony into Microsoft Teams. So for places like here in Australia where we haven't had calling until this week, it's a way to get calling into Microsoft Teams. It is a Teams exclusive feature. It will not be coming to Skype for Business. Skype for Business will use the CCE traditional model that we've used up until now. But for Teams Direct Route, you literally can just buy a normal Sonos SBC without an SBA, buy a audio codes gateway without the SBA, plug your IC in, plug your SIP trunk in, pump it into the cloud, users are on, they've got calling now. There are some caveats, but we'll skip that for now. But both audio codes and ribbon are supported. 11 partners have come out from Microsoft, have come out and said we now support Teams calling, so you don't have to have on-prem telephony. You can just go to one of those 11 partners and say, hi, I'd like Teams calling, and they will connect it to Microsoft Teams for you. So you could go to one of these companies like, yeah, West is another one. There's a few companies, buy a service from them, you get calling in Teams. New version of SRS, or for the Skype room systems, has been released. I haven't actually seen it in the wild. No one has seen it in the wild, but it's apparently out there. It supports Teams. So this means the SRS room system will be able to join Teams meetings. It's disabled by default, so once your SRS downloads the update, it's completely transparent to the user. There's a little config file will change, and then they can start a Teams meeting. But until then, if they get invited to a Teams meeting, a little Teams icon will appear on the home screen to let them know it's a Teams meeting. But the units, the idea is that they'll be very hybrid in the fact that you set and forget them. Someone invites it to a Skype meeting, it'll go into Skype mode. If someone invites it to a Teams meeting, it'll go into Teams mode. Now, I think Dan touched on this a little while ago, but we'll just point it out here. Teams can now be archived. So I don't know about you, but I've noticed that it's great that users can work the way they want to work and do everything that they want to do with Teams, but it's leading to Teams clutter, or Teams creep, as it's known, giving the users the ability to archive a team that they don't use anymore without getting IT involved, or more specifically us running around with a cricket bat telling people to archive their teams. At least cleans out the clutter and stops, Teams being so slow when you sign into it. Big feature that I'm a massive fan of, Visio now works in Teams. So for anyone that's in the engineering space, probably half this room here, if you've got a design document in Teams and you're working collaboratively with it, you can now all open the Visio at the same time in Teams and work on it at the same time. You can collaborate, you can chat about it. So you can see over here, we've got people talking about the content while they're working on it. You can edit it directly in Teams without launching Visio, but you also have the ability to launch Visio and go into and edit it collaboratively. This doesn't give you Visio for free. You do still need a Visio Plan 1 or Plan 2 license to use this feature. Alex?
How about just view only, like someone?
View only currently has worked in Teams for quite some time.
So
You don't need a license for that. It's that has been in Teams for quite a while.
So how do they know about it? If you try to share it with the customer and then you got a license, they don't need the license to view what you're doing. But if they want to edit, they need to have a license.
So the question was, can a customer view a Visio without a license? Yes, they can. There are free Visio viewers from Microsoft that let them view that Visio. And if they try and view it as a guest in the Teams app, then Teams will automatically kick off Visio Online. It just won't let them edit it. You only need the Visio Plan 1 or Plan 2 license if you're going to edit the document.
And if they have license, they can interact with your presentation.
I don't know how that would work in a guest scenario. If they have a Visio license on their PC and they're joining your tenant via guest, I'm not sure how that would work. The other thing is, and it's not so much for desktop users, but web app users, and obviously the Surface Hub and modern apps, is the waffle is now available. Now for those that don't know, waffle is that little square thing in the top left corner of Office. It's always there, it lets you pick whatever app you want. It is called the waffle. There is debate about it, but if you look in the code, it's called the waffle. Basically, it's now in Teams. Click it, start Word, start Outlook, start whatever you want from there. It will automatically hide stuff that users aren't licensed for too, so you don't get users going, I want access to this, and when I click it, it doesn't work. Waffle. It's called a waffle. This little thing, this is a waffle. So it's, sorry?
What's the debate?
Oh, people think it's just called the app selector, but if you look in the code, it's called the waffle.
Well, you get the waffle line, I suppose it looks like that.
I like.
Yeah, we are waffling.
Well, it's like Google called the 3 lines the hamburger. So you open the hamburger menu, and it's kind of interesting. All right, last one, and I'm going to hand over to Dan. There has been some back-end changes to Skype for Business Online that's now allowing for interoperability between Skype for Business Online and Teams. So if you've got a Skype for Business Online certified phone, for example, a VVX phone, Trio, or in this case a Surface, you can see that they're all calling each other. The Surface is running Teams, the Polycom phone is joining the Teams meetings, the Trio is joining the Teams meeting, and they're calling each other directly. This is all done completely in the Office 365 backend. We don't have to do anything to make it work. So if someone gets invited to a Teams meeting and they're in Skype for Business Online, they'll automatically be able to join that Teams meeting. Okay? But keep in mind it's online only. This is something I would probably expect to come in Skype 2019. But that's pretty much it for now. Sorry? I'm not sure anything. As far as I know, it's anything that's qualified, but I would stick with 5.6.0 or better because everything before 5.6.0 was terrible. Yeah, any questions? No, all good? I'm going to hand over to Dan. Thank you. Thanks, guys.